Hey guys, I'm going to go over how to write a chemical formula when given the formula in Word form. To do this, you're going to need a chart that contains the charges and symbols of common ions. You can find this in the Chem Reference Guide on page 44, or I have one posted to my website that just kind of has everything combined into one chart. So what you're going to do is you're going to be given a chemical formula in Word form. For example, calcium chloride. Your first step is going to be to look up the common symbol and the symbol and the common charge for each one of these ions. So for calcium, if you look it up on the chart, you are going to find that its symbol is Ca and its common charge is +2. If you look up chloride, you're going to find that its symbol is Cl and its common charge is a -1. Your goal here is to combine these two ions so that if you added up their charges, you would get a 0. So what you have to do is adjust the subscript in order for this to happen. What is the subscript? The subscript is just what it says. So sub means below. So the subscript is something that's below the normal script. For example, if you see something like, the little 2, this 2 would be the subscript. And get rid of that. Okay, so we want to combine these guys so that their common charge, so that their total charge can equal 0. So for calcium, if I just stick one calcium together with one chlorine and call that my chemical formula, it would be incorrect. And I would know that because if I took the charge of one calcium, which is a +2, and I added it to the charge of one chlorine, which is a -1, that is not going to give me 0. It's going to give me +1. So that tells me this chemical formula is not correct. So what I can do is I can use this to help me figure out what my chemical formula should be. If I'm going to get a +1, I need one more -1 to turn that into a 0, because a +1 plus a -1 equals 0. So I'm going to add another one of the ions that is carrying a -1 charge. So my correct chemical formula would be 1 calcium attached to 2 chlorine atoms, or CaCl2. Okay, I'm going to do another example, but this time I'm going to use a polyatomic ion. In the previous example, I used 2 monatomic ions. A monatomic ion is an ion that is just made of one element. So it's just a single element with a charge, which is what both calcium and chloride are. This time I'm going to use a polyatomic ion, which is an ion made up of more than one element. So I'm going to use my same element for the first part, so calcium, but this time I want the symbol for calcium nitrate. Nitrate is a polyatomic ion. So if you're looking in the Chem Reference Guide, you'll actually find that in the chart on page 46. So calcium, we said the common charge and the symbol are going to be Ca +2. If you look up nitrate in the chart, you're going to find that its formula is NO3 and its charge is going to be minus, just like the chloride was. So I have the same problem here, where if I add 1 calcium to just 1 nitrate, then I would only be adding a +2 to a -1, which would give me +1. Again, I need another -1 in order to get my charge to be 0. So again, I have to double up the second guy. in this case with the polyatomic ion, I can't just throw a 2 as its subscript, because now it just looks like I have CaNO32, and that would be completely incorrect. So what I'm going to have to do is show that that 2 belongs to the entire nitrate ion. I'm doubling the entire nitrate. And my final product here should be Ca parentheses NO3 2 to give me calcium nitrate.